Run, Punch in the Face, and Bucket Bong. They're now touring the 23rd anniversary of their classic album, Sans Souci. I'd like to welcome to the show Lindsay McDougall from Frenzal Rhomb.
Hello. Hey, Wayne. How are you?
I'm very good, my man. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. I've actually, in the last couple of days, and it's kind of funny because I see about four people a week who are not my wife. I've managed to develop a bit of a flu, which is good because we go on tour very soon. And it's important for one of us to befall some kind of misfortune before we go on tour. It's a good omen. Like normally, Gordy will send us on the night or the week before the tour, he'll send us a photo of one of his fingers that's been mangled by an electrical tool, and somehow, and it normally means that everything's going to be excellent.
Oh, that's good. So
So
you're
that's
off to a good
yeah,
start. Good to
exactly.
hear.
So hopefully I'll get heaps worse, which means the tour will be heaps better.
I like your way of thinking, man. That sounds really good. So while I was preparing to kind of have a chat with you, I looked up Sans Souci, the name. I know it's a suburb of Sydney,
Mm.
but it also has apparently it means without care, no worries. Is that
Yes,
is that your own? Yeah. Which I think
100%. No worries.
yeah, which I think is fantastic because that to me kind of is so Aussie that it's not funny. Like, yeah, no worries, mate, you know?
It's kind of like the great contradiction of Australia because Sans Souci is a suburb in sort of Sydney, southeast Sydney, and no worries is kind of like it's a suburb that's like every suburb. It's got plenty of worries,
Yeah.
and also like the whole idea that Australia is this laid back, she'll be right, no worries, mate, get a dog up here, etc. But we're, as I think someone said, but the reality is we're a nation of super cops. We just always like you look at every face, especially that was years ago. That this album came out 23 years ago. But you look at every Facebook group, and it's a bunch of old pricks just ragging on kids for riding bikes, and
Yeah.
someone didn't clean up their dog poo, and what's that noise? Who's that? Who's letting? Who's making noise at 10:30 at night? We're just a nation of absolute narcs, and so the whole idea of no worries is such a lovely contradiction. I think that made sense in the context of the album because it's
Yeah.
very Australian. The album with like songs. I mean, some of the songs are very Australian, such as like songs like Greyhound and Bucket Bong and stuff. But then also like there are songs about the sort of worries that we do have, like who'd
Yeah.
be a cop and stuff. So yeah, it was a nice little contradiction. We thrive in this world of contradictions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think you do it with such elegance, if I can say that for a punk band. Like
Yes.
there's definitely a punk elegance about your music. I remember when I first connected with you earlier today about chatting, and I mentioned that gig
Mm.
you did in Adelaide. Like even on
Mm.
acoustic guitars, like it's just such a beautiful way you bring the music to the people.
It's a dangerous thing actually playing songs acoustically because you have nothing to hide behind, and
Yeah,
the lyrics are much more stark, which can be a problem. But something we've done for a while. That show was funny for a couple of reasons. So that was with the Rowdy Neighbours, great
yes,
Adelaide band. They were launching an EP, and they just reached out to us and said, "Hey," they reached out. They sent us a message and
yeah,
said, "Do you guys want to play this?" And we're like, "Oh, we can't really because we've got a show coming up, so we can't, we've got various exclusivity clauses and stuff."
yeah.
They said, "What if you play under a fake name?" And we're like, "All right, whatever. That sounds fine." And so the name we chose, because this is a West Debbie, and
Yeah.
it was them and another band, and then there was this other band no one had heard before called Purple Wayne,
Yeah.
not yourself, but Purple
No.
Wayne and the Angel of Jeff. And so we were Purple Wayne and the Angel of Jeff, and we got there, and there was a briefcase backstage where the Rowdy Neighbours had our performance fee in unmarked bills. Not that we'd asked for that, unmarked notes. Two hats and T-shirts that they'd made that said Purple Wayne and the Angel of Jeff, and of course, bags of drugs and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, we actually wrote
Of
a song
course.
called "The Adelaide Briefcase Escapade," which never made didn't make the last album, but we tried to enshrine the whole experience in song. The weirdest part of it was the band that played before us, it was around Easter time as well, had a sex doll on stage that we realised very soon it had dreadlocks, and it was Jason, a sex doll version of Jason, and into the genderless crevice at the front,
Yeah,
they'd put a bunch of Easter eggs, and so the
that's
singer
right.
was essentially pulling Easter eggs out of Jason Jason the Sex Doll's vagina-like opening and giving them to the crowd as the opening band, where we're sort of looking at each other and there's this briefcase and we're like, are we in the right place? Of course, we were absolutely in the right place.
Yeah. I remember that night. In fact, one of those Easter eggs actually came very close to hitting me in the head.
Dangerous.
I just got the sound and right, and they'd come out on stage, and I was standing by the bar just to kind of get a bit of a feel for the sound, and I saw it just like that. And I was like, shit.
It's the untold danger of Easter.
Yeah, that was quite an interesting one for me too, because I literally just started doing live sound. I'd been studying at SAE, and that was like one of my first gigs. And then someone says, "Oh, guess what? Frenzal Rhomb are playing." I'm like, "Holy fuck!"
But you did very well under some extenuating circumstances. Do you remember at one point Jason's acoustic guitar stopped working? Yeah. And it was blaming probably you, blaming me, blaming the venue, and it was literally his battery just went flat. Which happens like once a year for acoustic guitars.
Yeah. But it ended up being a great gig, and you guys I was just so impressed by getting to see, because I'd never actually seen you live before, not in person. Obviously there's YouTube videos and whatnot getting around, but
yes,
but to see you guys live and acoustic, I was just like, so
you got to see us gently before you get to see us much louder.
Yeah, a bit of Vaseline.
Absolutely.
But I have to ask, obviously the album you're touring, Sans Souci, is 23 years old now. How do you guys keep it interesting for you guys to play? Because I don't know about you, but like when I play songs badly on guitar, I kind of get sick of them after 6 months.
Yeah.
How do you keep
it's true. Keeping it interesting. Well, basically, we're not like we're just playing the songs. I shouldn't say we're not playing the songs for the people in the audience, because obviously if you've ever requested a song at our shows, we'll play what the hell we want to play, and damn you all to hell. But it's just watching people, and these days multiple generations of people, mums and their daughters, dads and their parents and their kids, all genders, up the front of the pit in gross displays of bad parenting, having a bloody great time with us as the soundtrack is enough to keep even the most boring 3-chord, 4-chord song interesting, and by that I mean never had so much fun. So it keeps these songs very interesting. But also there is that tightrope vibe of how stupid can we get on stage and still play the songs correctly, or still be there when I need to play, still be back close enough to play the right chord or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's like, if you've watched the YouTube clips, we don't always get there, but it's much more fun. Like I when I was during COVID, I was doing these Saturday night live streams, and I've been doing them again for this album, and standing there playing the songs without moving is fun when you're learning the song. And I've been relearning the Sans Souci songs, but it gets a little bit boring if you're just doing that. So when bands just stand there and play their songs, you better hope that they're really difficult to play. They've got a reason to stand there, because it's much more interesting to jump around. And so I feel like for a few of these Sans Souci songs, there might be a little bit of standing around as I try and get the bits correct. And there's some really weird bits and transitions and songs we haven't played in 23 years. Some of the songs on the album we have never played live. Well, at least maybe I'd say at least one of them. And possibly we won't actually do, I don't know. The song right at the end of the album, I'll just get right out in front of this, because we did the Man's Not a Camel anniversaries the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And it was one person who complained. They left the show early and then got to Facebook, I think before the end of the show, to say that they got there and we started playing the album, but then started playing other songs, and so they left. And we're just like, we don't play the song in the album in the album order. Like, we just play the songs from the album, but we just play them in whatever order we feel like it.
Yeah.
And they were very, very upset that we didn't just get there and press play on the CD player and wait for 45 minutes or whatever and have it exactly as it was on the album. And so it's not going to be in album order, and we may leave one song off. We may, by the end of the whole tour, just like we did with the Camel tour, maybe we'll leave more songs off, just to make it interesting for everyone. Yeah, what song are they going to be too chicken shit to play next? I wonder what it's going to be. But some of them are pretty hard. And you've sort of been given a different entry to this by seeing us play acoustically first. But this album, even though it's got heaps of heavy guitars and stuff and drums and all that, it's got acoustic guitars on it in a few different bits. But like they're weirdly put in the middle of really heavy songs, like in the middle of WFC, which is World's Fuckedest I swore anyway, but C-U-N-T. I'm not sure exactly how much I can swear on this podcast.
Oh, you
But
can swear. Go for it.
well, in the middle of that song, which is about I wrote that about myself and my friends. World's fuckers cunt. There's like this big acoustic guitar bit, and there's a bit in Lead Poison Gene. There's this lovely, played acoustic guitar bit in the middle of White World, which is a really serious.
Oh,
there's these sort of acoustic guitar bits in the middle of this tough as hell guitar chords, and I've done something which I will probably regret, and that is that I bought an acoustic guitar stand, the sort that Iron Maiden use, or progressive metal, prog metal bands like Dream Theater or whatever use, so they can quickly go from their big heavy riffs to their acoustic guitar and then back again in the one song. And I actually bought it because I did these Weezer shows a couple of months ago, and I was playing, and a lot of the songs off Weezer's first album, the Blue Album, have acoustic and then electric and then acoustic, etc. So I bought it for that, and also because I play in an 80s band and we do things like Wanted Dead or Alive by Bon Jovi. So I bought this stand, and I'm really sorry I apologize, but I'm going to have to bring it to the shows and possibly try and play acoustic and then electric and then acoustic and then electric in the same songs that are much faster than Iron Maiden songs and Dream Theater songs. So we'll see how it goes.
Oh, look,
I can't. If anyone's seen the live streams the last few weeks, you may notice that there's a lot of tripping over myself, and I'm not very good on my feet anyway, so I can't promise to stay upright.
I can relate to that. And you know what, that's the beauty of live music, though, isn't it? Like, it's not always, I mean, you're not going to play, if you're going to play it exactly how it is on the album, then you may as well just hit play on the CD. So there's always those nuances and so
that's why, I talked to a few people about those modelers and the Kempers and the helixes and the fractals. And if you're listening and don't know what any of those words are, don't worry, they'll all be gone in a few years' time. But they basically, you press play on your album and with a microphone, and then those machines get your guitar to sound exactly like it sounds on that album or any album or whatever. And so when you go out on stage, you just press the Sans Souci button, and it makes your guitar sound exactly like it sounds on that album. And that to me is pretty boring. I really like getting to a gig and plugging my distortion pedals in and turning my Marshall up and going, that sounds pretty bloody tough. That'll do. And every show it sounds slightly different. So I like that. So I'm hoping that so I could never get into modeling because I don't like the predictability. I'm sure the rest of my band would love it to be predictable, but I think I much prefer the chance of stuff sounding different every show.
Yeah, absolutely. Imagine when you could put on your vocals, you're like, I want to sound like James Hetfield, click a button and
that's true. I mean, I think our drummer often sounds like James Hetfield by the end of the show after he's just yelling the whole gig. At least he doesn't play like Lars, so there's that.
Gonna get some hate on
that. But it's I don't know if you can do it. I guess you can do it with voice. I'm sure you probably could, the EQs and stuff. But it's just such a weird idea to me. Although I'm sure the people who do it have a very good. I mean, it is good. I'm sure for the crew to be able to get there, plug everything in exactly the same every night, and it run perfectly. But I'm the guy bringing an acoustic guitar stand to a punk rock gig. So what do I know about making life easy for the crew?
Right. Yeah, exactly. I was just looking at the Oztick site for, where people can buy tickets for your tour. And I see that you've made a joke there that you're doing the 23rd because you missed the 20th anniversary. Is there any truth to that, or is it just more good Aussie humor?
It's truth in that we did literally miss the 20th anniversary, but we hadn't. It was actually only in the last couple of years that we had the hide to do these anniversary shows, and we maintain this is still the case. No band in history and no artist in history has ever written an album that should be played 100% at a gig. No one's written an album that's good all the way through. There's always at least one kind of crappy song somewhere on the record, except for Propaganda, who are the world's best band. But so when the 20th anniversary of this one went by in 2023, we hadn't got there yet. And then by the time in 2024, when it was the 25th anniversary of A Man's Not a Camel, we were just like, man, we need to buy more beer. We need to pay off our mortgages and pay rent. Let's go. No, we actually realized that we were at a position in the band, especially where we wanted to play all those songs. And we just loved the idea of sort of going back and revisiting. Even the really crappy songs are really fun to play on that album. And this is very much the same, although this album's heaps better, I reckon. By this time, heaps less pop stuff, like heaps less well, we'd worked out how to write pop stuff by Sans Souci that sounded tough.
Yeah.
You know, with the Man's Night Come, there were good songs, but the pop stuff was really cheesecake stuff. So I don't know.
I love
Other
the
people might have
ensemble.
different, people different opinions of that, and
Yeah.
people there's an album in between that some people seem to like for some reason as well. So yeah, but that's the beauty of music; it's very subjective. Yeah, the other thing I said in that press release was, because we missed the 20th anniversary, and I'm not convinced we'll be here for the 25th. And I
Oh, okay.
still maintain that is almost certainly the case. As a species, I'm not convinced we'll be here for the 25th anniversary of Sans
Oh, fair
Souci.
enough.
So we've got to get here now.
Yeah, fair. And are you guys taking any kind of supports on the road with you, or like?
Oh, not on the road, no,
I
no.
mean,
But they are going to be supports at the shows.
that's
We
the
we
yeah.
we listen to all the bands that So as soon as we announce a tour, we'll get like an influx of bands saying, "Hey, can we play with you?" And the promoter will have suggestions and the venue and stuff.
Yeah.
And we found a band. They were a three-piece with a girl bass player when we first saw them, but they're now just a two-piece, I think. But they're also about 13 years old. They're
Oh,
called the
wow.
Handouts. And I think Tanu is the singer guitarist. I think that's his name.
Oh, wicked.
And they're fucking sick. Like, in fact, they got a new song, a new double A side coming out this week. I'm pretty sure, or maybe like the week of the show at least. Which is, I think I can't remember what it's called, but it's I've heard little clips of it and it sounds sick. Like, people always talk about music being better back in my day and all that old boomer dumb stuff. These guys, this band is sick. There's so many bands that are sick that we're playing with all over the place. Bands that have been around for a while, bands that are really new, bands that are heaps young. And the best thing about having a band that's only 13 years old support us is there's very little chance that they're going to drink our rider.
Oh.
Although, I mean, I drink alcohol-free beer, so they could still steal my beer. But, their parents will probably get into it, which is fine.
Yeah.
Also, I'm hoping that I think it's Tanu, it's Lanu, the main person in the band, has been studying up on the Frenzal songs because we might get him up for a song or two as well. Because
Oh, nice.
the other good thing about the Sans Souci songs is there's heaps of cool guitar bits, and I can't play them all on stage, so maybe we'll get him to help out as well.
Oh, that sounds good. Cool. I'll just sort of pretty much wind it up now. As
Yeah.
I think we've covered a lot of stuff, but one thing I do want to ask, when you mentioned before about having mortgages and stuff to pay off, is there any possibility of any new music coming from you guys? I think the last album you released was about 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Sounds right, yeah. I thought you were going to hit me up on the obvious lie that any of us can afford houses.
Oh, no.
Obviously, we're mostly renting. I think all of us. I live on a farm, so that's
Yeah.
different. A farm covered in shipping containers. In fact, right now, you caught me today. I was getting in my car, far south New South Wales, driving up. I'm currently in the Sutherland Shire, my dad's old house, with my dad's old cactus. Actually, no, that wasn't dad's cactus. Here in Engadine, where I grew up, which I said is like the Mayo electorate
Yeah.
of South Australia, and then driving to the city where we're going to rehearse the Sans Souci songs and then write new songs.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
hopefully this is the first demo session actually for the new album.
Okay.
We've been writing separately, putting stuff around together by ourselves, but this is the first time we'll all stand in a room, look at each other and go, I don't know, what about this, etc. So hopefully it'll go very well. I mean, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of standing around going, I don't know, what do you reckon? And hopefully at some point it'll turn into an album. And then, hopefully it'll get the financial wolves from all of our doors.
Sounds very good.
And entertain people or whatever it's supposed to do.
Yeah. Sounds good, man. So you guys kicking off the tour in Adelaide, is that correct?
Yes.
No
always.
worries.
No, that's not true. We don't always do it. We're kicking off in Adelaide for whatever reason. Back at the Gov, which is sick.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm excited to go to Adelaide for. I was even thinking about some things I'm excited to see in Adelaide, but I can't remember any of them now. What a shame. There was some good. There was some good. There was some things that I was in Adelaide for the Beer and Barbecue Festival a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah, I had a night off. I was up in Sydney where I used to live, and I had a night off in between some gigs I was doing with other bands, and I was just like, "Fuck, I'm gonna just fly over to Adelaide just to see Tism because I'm a hopeless Tism fan." And Ben Queller was playing as well, who was excellent. And and there's this band called Sandy Dish who played in the Little Room from Melbourne. They're sick as well. So there was some great bands to see. And there was there's those dudes that do the Weezer show in Adelaide that I can't believe it's not Weezer, and they did the I can't believe it's not Silverchair show.
I
which
heard
was
about
fun. I could believe it wasn't Silverchair,
that.
but still, it was good to see. It was sick to see some of those songs, and they tried some of the harder, like latter era Silverchair songs as well, which I prefer. So that was great to see.
Oh, really?
So I'm excited to go to Adelaide to go. Yeah, I'm a big fan of all the pop Silverchair stuff. I think my hierarchy of Silverchair songs. Someone called me out on Facebook this the other day. Starts with Young Modern and goes all the way back to Frog Stomp. Like
Oh,
they're all
wow.
great for different
Yeah.
reasons, but I love Young Modern, Neon Ballroom. Like I sort of go backwards. But yeah, that was good. Wow, something else. What else did I enjoy doing in Adelaide? Can't remember, man. I should have prepped for this interview. I've ruined it. I've ballsed it up. But I'm
That's all
sure
right.
there's going to be lots of good things to do.
Oh, I mean,
No
look,
doubt.
we're definitely getting better. It used to be known as the
Oh yeah,
sleep town that we all went to bed at like 8 o'clock at night and all that sort of stuff. But
I'm pretty sure I've never been to bed at 8 o'clock in Adelaide. But
well, neither have
only
I.
because I had
But
a friend who used to give us deckies when we were there. No, there used to be a Carver Hut, which is gone. But oh no, the Enigma Bar used to be there, which is gone. But
yeah,
the pub that used to be the saloon across the road from that, I went there last time. That was real. That was a great pub. But there's fucking good. There's good vegan food as well. There's always been good vegan food in Adelaide. And 2-Bit Villains. I'm stoked to get back to 2-Bit Villains. That's a good joint. Um, and I'm sure there's other wonderful things that we probably won't have time to do because we're only getting to be there for one day.
yeah, because then you're off to Canberra, I think.
Canberra,
Yeah,
Canberra, and then Jindabyne playing in the
Jindabyne.
snow or what left of the snow, and then we got it was like sort of 4 or 5 shows a month until November, which is
Yeah.
a good number of shows for old pricks like us.
Look, that's awesome, and it's great to see you guys, coming back to Adelaide and touring around for the 23rd anniversary. Thank you so much, Lindsay, for coming on a word with Wayde and having a chat. And yeah, hopefully I'll catch you at the Gov. That's actually just down the road from me, so I
Sick.
might have to grab myself a ticket and come on down.
Purple Wayde, it was great to chat to you. I'll see you at the Gov. Sick stuff. Thank you very much.
No worries, Lindsay. You have a good day, man.
You too. Thanks, man.
No worries. Thank you.